Tonight on Cougar News, a vehicle collides with a pedestrian in Saugus.
Plus, we visit a candlelight vigil for an innocent student killed in a street racing accident.
Also, a local swimmer breaks a national record. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Andrew Menjvar.
And I'm Brooke Lohman. Here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom.
A traffic collision on Haskell Canyon Road resulted in the death of an unidentified woman Monday night. Chris McCrory provides us with more details.
Residents near Haskell Canyon Road in Jeffers Lane discovered a grim sight on Monday evening when an older woman was fatally struck by a car as she crossed the road, throwing her belongings across the pavement. Sergeant Shoemaker with the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station gave more details about the collision.
At approximately 6:15 this evening, there was a traffic collision just north of this intersection between it was a vehicle versus pedestrian. At this time, we're still gathering information as to the exact cause of the information, which is the combination of factors on the roadway, that can lead to tragic situations like this.
This isn't the first time a tragedy has unfolded on this road. A longtime resident of the area explained that traffic collisions are common due to the lack of stop signs or traffic lights.
One year we had someone come into this driveway, hit this car, hit the door, hit the wall, take out the wall, and hit the car next to it. That happened the evening right after Halloween at about 5:30 in the evening. And it was just somebody speeding, trying to get cut into the side street, trying to beat traffic.
For Cougar News, this is Chris McCrory.
A candlelight vigil was held in Honor Grove last Wednesday for two COC students who were killed on their way home from Disneyland. Brian Iriarte reports on the dangers of street racing and how it can lead to tragedies like this.
Candles are lit as hundreds of friends and family bow their heads in silence, all in part of a candlelight vigil held in Honor Grove. The vigil was held for COC students Michelle Littlefield and Brian Lewandowski, who lost their lives in a fatal car collision more than a week ago. Family members spoke on behalf of both students, recalling the sweet and tender moments.
She really taught me more than what I can teach her. It was an honor for me to be her mother.
The students were killed due to a street racing incident in Commerce. This is the first time so far this year that a local life was lost due to street racing. But Santa Clarita is not new to this problem. In 2012, Dakota DeMott was riding passenger when his driver became involved in a street race over in Sand Canyon. DeMott was killed instantly when the car collided with an oak tree. And in 2013, actor Paul Walker was killed when the Porsche Carrera he was driving in bursted into flames after crashing at nearly 90 miles per hour over in Valencia. Despite these accidents, street racing remains an issue in Santa Clarita, prompting sheriff officials to warn drivers of the consequence of street racing.
It's not going to be tolerated in the Santa Clarita Valley. If we find out about it or we catch you committing a street race, the driver's going to get arrested, his car's going to get impounded, it's extremely expensive, and it ends in a fatality. You're going to be charged with murder.
Remember that if you know of a street race being planned, you can tip anonymously at lacrimestoppers.org. For Cougar News, I'm Brandon Iriarte.
A noteworthy former First Lady's life is being honored in Simi Valley this week. Jazz Piat has more on the story.
Flowers, notes, and American flags are being placed at the bottom of Presidential Drive in Simi Valley to honor the life of Nancy Reagan, who passed away on Sunday at the age of 94. The former First Lady and widow of President Ronald Reagan was a well-regarded actress, fashion icon, and activist.
So much. Yes, thanks.
Her most notable achievement being Just Say No.
Many of you may be thinking, well, drugs don't concern me. But it does concern you.
Where she reached out to school-aged children to promote healthy living by discussing drug awareness. On top of that, She was a breast cancer survivor who inspired women to receive mammograms at a time that cancer was stigmatized.
In 1987, the survival rate with early detection was 74%. Now it's 99%, according to Schultz. But Reagan's example did not stop at detection.
The Ronald Reagan Presidential Library has been temporarily closed due to her passing, but partially reopened for the public to pay their respects today, and will remain open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Her private funeral is scheduled to be on Friday at the library, where she will be buried next to her husband. The library is scheduled to reopen on Sunday at 10 a.m., just in time for the opening of the latest Vatican-inspired exhibit.
For more information, you can go to cougarnews.com. For Cougar News, I'm Jazz Pyatt.
We have Sade Easterling here in the studio.
What's the scoop, Sade?
Well, here's what I have for you guys. An 11-year-old elementary school student in Santa Clarita was arrested on February 1st on suspicion for threatening classmates with a knife and posting a threat on Instagram, is headed for trial. On February 4th, he was charged with 7 counts of assault with a deadly weapon and criminal threats. He is scheduled for his court date on April 1st. A Chipotle in Boston has closed down due to an employee diagnosed with norovirus. Cleanup crews have arrived for sanitation, and a health inspector will arrive Wednesday morning. Infected employees will not be allowed to work until symptom-free for 5 days. A dentist in Paris went on trial on Tuesday of being accused of damaging more than 100 patients' mouths. Van Neerrock allegedly ripped out healthy teeth, causing patients to have broken jaws. He has been charged with fraud, forgery, and false billing. And that's what's trending. I'm Sade Easterling. For more stories in and around the Santa Clarita Valley, you can check us out at cougarnews.com. Back to you guys.
Coming up on Cougar News, COC remembers Kathy Fortine.
Plus, David Caduto brings us the latest in entertainment. Stay tuned.
Last week,
Art is life. Art is love. Art is patience.
San Francisco has officially raised their legal smoking age from 18 to 21, and the state of California is taking steps to do the same. Should this trend go nationwide? COC students sound off. Here's Kimberly Pressler with more.
Last week, San Francisco made national news, not for its sweeping views or windy streets, but because it joined major cities like New York and Boston in raising their legal smoking age of tobacco products and e-cigarettes to 21. And on Friday, the California State Assembly followed suit by passing a bill which also included raising the smoking age to 21, which would make it the standard across the state. Nationally, teen smoking rates have been cut in half since the 1990s, but vaping has nearly doubled amongst teens in the last several years. So we took to the COC campus to find out, should the legal smoking age be raised to 21 nationwide?
I believe it's a good idea because there's a lot of young minors at 18 that smoke already, and that's pretty bad actually.
I think that we should, just because I feel like it's really easy for kids to get access to like smoking even under the age of 18.
but not everyone agrees.
We should be able to do what we want to do, and I mean, people are more aware of what they're consuming nowadays.
According to a study done by the American Journal of Preventive Medicine, 75% of Americans believe the smoking age should be 21. And that statistic rings true even with American smokers. For Cougar News, I'm Kimberly Pressler.
The college's University Center hosted a living memorial for one of the Board of Trustees' daughters Saturday after she passed due to natural causes. Friends and family arrived Saturday to celebrate the life of trustees Bruce Fortine's daughter, Kathy Fortine. Kathy was an assistant director for the Jimmy Kimmel Show and was part of the show since it started. Memories of her kindness and work habits were shared, as well as her passion for music, as her former flute orchestra performed at the service. The school has created 3 scholarships in Kathy's honor, and we will be giving you more in a closer look at the scholarships at a later date.
We see politics everywhere, on the news, on our social media accounts, and it is often brought up in everyday conversation. While it has a presence in our lives, we often do not participate in the political process. Jacob Sykes investigates voting and the younger generation.
As far as the wall is concerned, we're going to build a wall, we're going to create a border, we're going to let people in, but they're going to come in legally. They're going to come in legally.
Does not regulate Wall Street. Wall Street regulates
With the 2016 presidential election underway, citizens are deciding where to distribute their votes. However, one age group is less likely to vote than the rest.
I don't know, I just don't feel like it's necessary for me.
According to the Huffington Post, 18 to 29-year-olds only represented 19% of those who voted in the 2012 election. So why is this?
I'm not really a huge fan of politics, so therefore I feel like if it's not of my interest, why register for some things?
Bill Gusson, a political science teacher here at COC, had a different reason as to why younger people don't vote.
Part of it, quite frankly, is that young people are lazy. Right? And so, I'll be a little more favorable and say they're preoccupied with other activities that are more exciting and interesting. And by that I mean they're lazy.
Others feel like they're not caught up or they haven't researched enough about the candidates.
They're not really sure about the candidates, or they don't have time to research them, or really, maybe they're just so busy with what they're doing, working or school or whatever, that they can't really devote that much time to the whole process.
It's probably because they haven't experienced enough politics in their life. They don't see the effects that it has when somebody bad is voted into office. They make a mistake. It takes years to litigate, to mitigate.
When you don't have that kind of party attachment, you actually have to look at every single office and decide, who do I want? And that just takes a lot of research, a lot of time and energy.
However, many millennials do find that voting is an important duty.
I find it important only because, our voices matter regardless of who you are.
I want to have some sort of say in the future of my nation, considering I'm going to be living in it and now I'm an adult, so.
Those students that are not registered to vote or don't believe their vote matters, Phil has some strong words for you.
The truth is that probably one vote doesn't matter. But if all young people come to the conclusion that one vote doesn't matter, and so collectively they don't vote, they're hurting themselves.
I'm Jacob Sykes, reporting for Cougar News.
We now go to David Caduto to bring us the latest in entertainment.
Thanks, Andrew. What if a major city in the United States were to go into complete chaos? Well, that's the storyline in Ubisoft's new video game entitled The Division. You are one of a select group of people that must regain control of Manhattan by any means possible after a smallpox attack devastates the city. Within days, without any essential supplies, the city collapses. Throughout the game, you go around seeking other survivors, trying to rebuild the city piece by piece with their help. You will use not only your skills, but theirs as well, to fight battles, upgrade your weaponry, and the most important part, survive. With Tom Clancy's The Division, a Game of the Year candidate, being released only yesterday, it will be hard to keep on the shelves. There have been a lot of expensive productions in the past, but this early season blockbuster has a chance to break the bank. With this film having a budget of reportedly $350 million, there is a good chance that this will compete for the most expensive movie ever produced. What's causing all the hype? Let's find out together. In the first 3 months of 2016, Hollywood has graced us with several different kinds of movies, including a man fighting for his life in the wilderness in The Revenant, a crude but hilarious superhero in Deadpool, and an inspiring tale about how one man changed the course of history in Risen. But nothing can prepare you for arguably one of the biggest movies of the year.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy. Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
Warner Brothers and DC Comics have teamed up once again in this highly anticipated movie that will be hitting theaters nationwide in only a few short weeks. Dawn of Justice is the next installment in a long line of upcoming films by the studio, which includes Suicide Squad in August, Wonder Woman, and they're currently filming Justice League Part 1. Fans everywhere have their opinion on who they want to win.
Yeah, I'm like super excited. I'm like geeking out about it.
And I'm pretty excited for the movie. I can't wait to see what Zack Snyder has brought.
I really want Batman to win.
Batman.
How he stops Superman's like punch, I was like, oh.
I really want Superman to win. I want him to win.
I think Batman. Yeah, my friend will hate me for saying that. He's into Superman, but Batman for sure.
You know what, I'm a big fan of Batman, you know. He's just a normal human and
honestly, I don't really care who wins.
Logically, I think it would be more right if Superman won.
Superman, he's just an alien.
You just can't beat the billionaire. Money rules the world. Come on now.
But there is one thing for sure. There will be plenty of action and excitement. Zack Snyder returns to direct this early season blockbuster. This will not be his first time directing superhero films. He has done such others as the wildly popular Watchmen in 2009, and then again for the reboot of Superman and the 2013 movie Man of Steel. With the film being distributed to about 4,000 theaters, and the majority of them either showing it in 3D or IMAX, it should be quite the event. However, be prepared to break out the wallet with the tickets averaging between $17 to $20. So my advice? Get there early to avoid the long lines. I have my ticket. I hope to see you at the movies. For entertainment, I'm David Caduto. For more information, be sure to check out our brand new podcast, Cougar News Entertainment. You can find C&E on Facebook for more information. That's it for entertainment. I'm David Caduto. Back to you guys.
Still to come on Cougar News, Canyons Aquatic Abby Weitzel breaks an American record.
Also, NASA scientists visit a local high school. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is T-Boz at TLC.
This is Batman.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamborelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen.
This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Weird Al.
I'm Florence Henderson.
You're watching.
And 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 you lucky people are watching
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News. Cougar News.
Cougar News.
You're watching Cougar News.
And I'm a cougar.
Stay tuned.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
What? This? Watch.
It's estimated that California will need 11 trillion gallons of water to end this 4-year drought.
Since 1994, COC has made an effort to ensure all structures on campus are built with earthquakes in mind.
The importance of accuracy is key to Paul Bond's reporting. Such a story where facts could be easily exaggerated might just cause Bond to return back to South Korea.
Although filming at College of the Canyons generates upwards of $1 million a year.
Today, everyone is here to celebrate one thing:
live. More than 3,000 participants ran locally in support for finding a cure for spinal cord injury.
What are you doing? Go watch the news or something. Awesome town, I swear.
You're watching Cougar News.
Welcome back to Cougar News. Shelby Stewart is here to tell us the latest in sports.
Welcome to Cougar Sports. If you haven't heard, the nation's fastest female swimmer is right here in Santa Clarita. This past Saturday, she proved it by shattering yet another record. Abby Weitzel set the new American record for the 50 freestyle on Saturday at a meet in Austin, Texas. Abby is well on her way to competing in this summer's Olympic Games in Rio. Although she is one of the best, she still faces a big obstacle, herself.
Self-doubt. Just there's so many fast swimmers out there, and I'm trying to beat them, and it's hard to not overthink it and be like, well, she's really fast. I don't know if I can beat her, she, things like that. Just doubt in yourself. It's hard to not do it, but it's something to overcome.
COC Cougar Baseball began conference play yesterday against Citrus. The Owls started out strong, scoring a run on an RBI single, but number 31, Chad Bible, shined on defense with this amazing catch in left field. During the top of the third, the Owls had a two-run homer, leading the Cougars 3-2. Even with the home run, Citrus was no match for COC. The Cougars had 5 runs in the 6th and 7th innings, taking the win and beating the Owls 7-3. The Cougars face Citrus again tomorrow on their home turf in Glendora, looking to add another win to their overall 11-2 season. Canyons High School women's basketball team headed to the CIF finals last weekend. Zach Aloe brings us more on the game.
The Canyon High School girls basketball team lost to the Newberry Park Panthers in the CIF final Saturday at Azusa Pacific University. Given the disappointing loss, Canyon was thrilled with the season they put together.
Some people don't get here in their lifetime. As a coach, as a player, some people don't ever get here. So, you try and keep their spirits up and say that, there's people that don't even reach this place, and you got here. So that's phenomenal in itself.
The Cowboys sent the Panthers to the foul line again and again and again in the second half, and Coach Jessica Hare wants her players to keep that in mind going into state.
Well, I don't think the 5 to 7 straight fouls that they called against us helped us at all. I mean, it changed the momentum of the game, slowed it down. They're into double bonus in the third quarter. We have the entire fourth still to go, and we're in double bonus, which is an awful place to be. So that kind of really changed the momentum of the game. So if I could take anything, I would change that.
COC's men's golf coach sat down with Ken Birkland to talk about the team's recent success and his expectations.
Gary Peterson has been the head golf coach for COC since 1979. There's a reason he's the longest tenured coach at COC. He has coached the team to an incredible 19 Western State Conference championships, 6 California Community College championships, and 2 Southern California Community College championships. Gary Peterson is aware of how highly the golf program is viewed and holds himself to very high standards. Coach Peterson does not have much to be upset about so far on the season, as COC has 3 first-place finishes in their first 4 meets. However, when it comes to taking credit for the team's success, Coach Peterson is modest. there's no denying that COC has some of the best golfers. In each of the 3 wins this year, it has been a different golfer to step up. Will Barnett, Matt Chang, and Travis Fay each finished first this year.
Regardless of how the rest of Coach Peterson's career at COC plays out, one thing is for certain. He will definitely be amongst the few selected for the Athletic Hall of Fame. For COC Cougar News, I'm Ken Birkland.
That's it for sports. I'm Shelby Stewart. Back to you guys.
This past weekend, local students got to meet some extraordinary people who are truly out of this world. More than 1,000 young women in junior high, high school, and their parents got the chance to meet NASA and JPL scientists on Saturday. Engineers and scientists made presentations at West Ranch High School on careers for women in technology, science, math, engineering, and arts.
A lot of times they don't get to see women who actually do this work, and we brought a whole bunch of women in hopes that they would connect with one of them or 2 of them so that they'd see somebody who's a great role model for them.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity. Like, we were able to see some scientists, and honestly it's a great opportunity because we don't really get that in LA, and the atmosphere, I like it because now I get to see that there's women who are actually interested in science.
That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Andrew Menjivar. Remember, you can catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Brooke Lohman. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle at @COC_Cougar News. Have a good night, everyone.